And once again, it is time for that part of the show. It is The Pulse with Mrs. Carriker. How you doing, sweetie?
Ange, let me ask you. Typically, we let you tell us what the pulse is, but this week, given everything that's kind of going on in the NBA, I needed to just ask you your opinion on this Mark Cuban, Brittney Griner situation. He comes out, Ange, I don't know if you've seen this. He says, if Brittney Griner is the best on the draft board, I will take her. And he went on, he elaborated. Let me just give you the full quote and then I'll get your response. He says, I've thought about it. I've thought about it already. Would I do it? Right now, absolutely. I'd lean toward yes, just to see if she could do it. And you never know until you give somebody a chance. And it's not like the likelihood of any late 50s draft pick because she has a good chance of making it. Now, Griner, Angie, she gets all excited about this. She responds, she says, I would hold my own. Let's do it. So, do you think that there's a place?
Well, let me jump in with one other quote here. I ran across this on Twitter today from Heat forward Shane Battier. He says, there's no doubt that in our lifetime there will be a woman NBA player. So he's offered his opinion. So, sweetie, what are your thoughts on this?
I hope Mark Cuban does it. He's a wise man. He's obviously very intelligent with his investments, as he's made a lot of money that way. And obviously, if he sees something in her, go for it. She's a heck of a player. I think she might need to put on a little weight to be around the big guys. She has the height to be around them, but not exactly the weight. I think she would be a great first NBA player.
I will say this. Ange, I love you to death. I'm all about equality. I just don't see this working out by any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that this is going to be anywhere near as atrocious as the girl that wanted to try out as an NFL kicker and what a debacle that was. But despite the fact that Brittney Griner, finishes with the second most points in women's college basketball history. She had over 3,000.
And the most blocks, over 7,000.
That's right. Well, she had 748.
I'm sorry, 700.
Right. That would have been impressive. And 18 dunks in her college career. But the entire NBA is played above the rim, not just 18 dunks. The whole game, every game is above the rim. And Brittney Griner, as talented as she is, could do wonders for the women, the USA women's college basketball or USA women's Olympic basketball team, and could certainly dominate the WNBA. But at the NBA, no, it's a completely different league.
Is there a question in there, or is that just your opinion?
That's my opinion. And I'm begging for one of the two of you to tell me that I'm wrong.
Well, keep in mind, first of all, Brittney Griner is 1.5 feet taller than Chuck is.
Doesn't matter.
Just keep that in mind. I just wanted to insult you. Real quickly, so you want Mark Cuban to draft her. You want her to do this. And I've heard people say there is no downside to this. So I have two questions for you here. Number one, do you think she could make the team? Or is this just something you want to see? Do you think she could legitimately make the team? And do you see any sort of a downside for her?
I think she could make the team easily. There are short people in the NBA, but like I said, she's up there with height. Just fine with them. It's just her weight. She probably needs to bulk up a little. And I actually think she'd make a legit run at it. And if anything, she's gonna get girls to watch and be like, all right. So, like I said, Mark Cuban, he's a smart man, and he knows, hey, this will market the Mavs a little more. So,
is there a possible downside to her for this?
Not for her. Then what's she gonna lose? Like, say it doesn't work out, and then she goes to the WNBA and just dominates them there.
Well, I like your positivity, but there is nothing but a downside here for Brittney Griner.
Are you a male chauvinist?
I'm not a male chauvinist. This is just a horrible idea. And this is why it's a horrible idea, because the women's game is a lot slower than the men's game. She would have to pick up her game. It would be the equivalent, Adam, of going from middle school hoops to the NBA in difference of speed and tempo. It is a completely different game. I'm not saying that she couldn't beat me. She could wipe the court with me. Okay? I'm not saying that. I'm not proclaiming to be the next big thing in the NBA. I suck at basketball, but I also know for a fact that Brittney Griner would not stand a chance against the men in the NBA.
You're killing me, Smalls. First of all, you have a little Napoleon complex. Second of all, I want to see her do this. Just like I wanted to see Michael Jordan, and we had this debate a little while ago. I wanted to see him go try and play baseball because I want to see people attempt to, whether they are successful or not, attempt things that are impossible in other people's minds. So I want to see her do this, and I will be watching if this does actually happen.
But isn't not, Angie, answer me this. Will this not turn her into a freak show? All eyes on Brittney Griner. All eyes on Brittney Griner. It's going to focus on everything except for basketball. And if she can't succeed, which she won't, how bad is she going to feel at that point? It will ruin her.
You know, Chuck, all I have to say is you told me how Michigan State was going to beat Duke.
Oh!
And then, Duke beat Michigan State. So
Yeah, she's beating you in our bracket, so what you got to say about that?
I think she'll be just fine if it happens.
You just made Chuck redder than my Nebraska hat, which is sitting on the table next to us. Redder than his legs that he's sitting on to try to appear somewhat tall for our viewers watching online. I love that you just put him in his place.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree here.
You're
Forget
wrong.
the fact that I'm sitting on my legs.
2 to
I
1.
know
You're
that I'm
wrong.
short. I know that I'm 5'6"
You're
on a good
incorrect.
day. I know that I suck
Not
at
right.
basketball, but I also know for a fact, for
opposite of the
Brittney
right
Griner's
answer.
sake, this is
You're
a
incorrect.
horrible idea.
False.
This is a horrible idea.
False.
No, this is a horrible
Do
idea.
it. Do it, Mark Cuban, and watch Shark Tank. I love watching that show, by the way. He's funny on there, too.
Whatever. Angie Carriker, still love you, though. Be sure to follow her on Twitter at Ange Carriker, ANGCarriker, with the Pulse each and every week. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Be sure to unfollow at the Chuck Carroll. Nobody wants to hear what he has to say. Thank you, sweetie.
We'll be right back talking a little bit more wrestling. This is WrestleMania Day on 4th and Pain.